Hello, hello. Once again, we are here in the satellite radio, which is deeply connected to our Prisma community, where we do artistic residencies and interviews and concerts and all sort of things. I have your feedback. And tonight, we're going to interview our dear residents, Sophie.
Hi.
Hi, Sophie. How are you?
I'm very tired and very wired today.
Hi, tired. I'm Jill.
Hello. Thank you for that.
But why
Dad
are you
joke.
tired? Yes.
I've been busy. So busy. Like, really.
Doing what?
Well, today I was actually at a biomimicry workshop.
A what?
Biomimicry.
Biomimicry.
Yes.
What is that? Define it.
It's
Please.
basically a form of design that uses ecology and biology to inform the way that we build things or conduct our relationships. So, basically like uses nature as an inspiration for design.
But does it use it to like a reusable
It
things?
can be.
Yeah.
It can be.
But the concept itself is just not to be as wasteful as usually
Not
creation is.
necessarily. I mean, I suppose that's part of it, but a big thing is taking into account the ecology that you're engaging with, but also literally like looking at, for example, the teacher gave me an example today. There's a mall in Zimbabwe that is modeled after termite hills because they have like a really good natural circulation. And it's basically using the models that we have in nature to create spaces that make sense within their context.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it was super interesting. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah, and I mean, you're kind of new in town in Lisbon. We are here in Lisbon, and you've been doing all sort of things. Can you speak a little bit about your experience so far here in this city, in this residency?
Lisbon's been amazing. It's been a very energetic city, which is honestly exactly what I wanted. I've been in kind of a period of isolation and stagnation, so being in a space that's so active has been really cool. I've really enjoyed Prisma, especially all of the events and stuff. I mean, I just came from life drawing, which was great. I come every week. I love it. It's so nice having a little bit of creativity that's outside of my own practice. I think I was surprised by the level of community here. People are just very fucking friendly and lovely, and I've loved it, honestly. Yeah.
And throughout, this is your second month in the
Yes.
residencies. In the first month, it was kind of chaotic, I'm guessing, with all the new experience, new city, new people.
Yeah.
You had a deadline to create a showcase.
Yes.
How did you dealt with that?
Good question. I think, honestly, I kind of just embraced the chaos. As I said before, the energy is something I've been really missing, so I enjoyed being so fully engaged. And I like deadlines. I'm a massive procrastinator, so I kind of need them. I paint quite quickly, so I'll go for long periods of time without painting at all, and then suddenly I'm like, every day. And I don't know, I took my work into a different direction in the last month, which I've been really happy with, and I'm finding genuinely interesting, which is cool because I get bored quickly. So that's been really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, talking about directions, like you feel like this experience maybe changed a little bit the way that you used to work, I'm guessing. And do you see like a clear path or a clear meta goal?
From my time at Prisma?
No, from the experience that you've been having, would you say that your goals nowadays are different from what used to be before coming here?
Yes. Yeah. I think also, I mean, Prisma's been part of it, and being in Lisbon is part of it, but I think my life is going through quite a big transformation. I had to let go of any sense of control and realize that I have agency. I mean, I made a whole workshop over this around this concept, but I've got agency over what I do.
You can go more deeper because
Okay, cool.
one of the things that you already did one,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, and I've got another one happening soon.
Exactly. I mean, how did it the project itself born, and what are your perspective on it?
So, there's a lot of ways to get to why it happened, but basically I have been in the social sciences for a while, and it's only this year that I've started like art making properly, and I've been wanting to find a way to bridge the two, and that's why I thought of doing the workshop. I think that culture is a very malleable thing, and I want people to view it as a tactile part of our reality that we can directly engage with, and art making is part of that, conversation is part of that, workshops are part of that. So I wanted to create a space where we were both subconsciously and materially and dialectically engaging with politics and culture, so that I could start getting people to shift their mindsets from or perceptions of self from one that is hyper-individual and isolated to one that is collective and interrelated. That was the main goal of the workshop, and I think honestly the main goal of the artwork I'm creating here. That's what I want to continue doing. And the control, no control and agency kind of theme came because me and Cassie and Celine almost drowned.
You almost died!
I almost died! And I have grown up swimming in the sea, and so it was quite a shock to suddenly be betrayed. And I think, like, I spoke to my therapist after that happened, and I said that it linked to the other feelings that I've been having for a long time now, which is that we have no control over life at all. And control is an illusion, and it's a way to dominate things, while still never actually being something you can have. So I wanted to shift that understanding to one of agency, which is more about liberation and about understanding what kind of power you have within existence and what you can do with it. Yeah, that's the roundabout way of describing why I did that workshop.
Thank you for your deep
welcome.
deep it connected explanation. And now, if you allow me, I have here your biography, I'm guessing.
No.
So Sophie Florence Mullins-Poe is a South African researcher and an interdisciplinary artist from Wakanda. Similar, sorry.
Yeah.
Easter Cape.
People say that a lot.
Yeah, I'm guessing. The daughter of two artists, she have been steeped in the South African arts and culture scene since childhood, and has been actively involved in community organization and social transformation since 16.
Yep.
I would like to ask you, how did your parents influence your works nowadays?
Massively. I mean, it's also why I ran away from being an artist for a really long time, because both of my parents are artists, so I wanted to be different. I wanted to be like my own person, and so till I was 18 I was going to be a surgeon.
Surgeon? Yeah,
I did like physics and chemistry and bio, and that's what I wanted to do. And then I realized I was doing that more so that I felt like I was my own person.
Not just part of
yeah, exactly. Go against people's expectations of me, I guess. But yeah, my parents, they both incredible artists and incredible
people. What did they
do,
if I may ask?
They're both painters. My mom actually taught me how to use this pigment, so I kind of stole this style from her. I mean, my painting style is different, but the technique
is heritage.
I learned, yeah, it definitely passed down. And also it just happened that those were the materials I had available to me at home, which is a massive privilege and very wonderful. So even when I just wanted to do a sketch, I would do it in this format. And my dad does like very intense impasto oil work. Yeah, and texts, which is also why I do texts. But they have always shaped me, and I think also growing up watching their work evolve has been a really wonderful thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really curious to read your bio and see that there's both like the really individual part, which is the art, I'm guessing, and then
Yeah.
you have been quite active in the social part too,
Yes.
with all your projects. And how did the two things was always connected to each other, or it was something that you felt the need to add to your art per se?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think growing up, seeing so much art, seeing a lot of political art, obviously, I mean, I was born 7 years after apartheid ended. And so the South African art scene is political, you know.
Art is political.
Art is very political. And I think I always saw that they intersected. However, my beginnings were more in social transformation and community organization. And then it was only recently that I felt that my own art could interact with that. I could see how other people's could, but I think this is the first time that I'm really trying to, bring the two together within my own creative capacity.
Yes. So, getting a master's degree in contemporary art and literature, cultural intervention, and social justice, her artwork utilizes concepts and praxis from social science, primarily rooted in feminist decolonial theory. She views culture as a story, a malleable, ancient, and cyclical act of constructing the world and being constructed in turn.
Yeah.
Therefore, viewing culture as something that can be directly engaged, fed, and changed.
Mm-hmm.
She has engaged in many art forms and mediums, working across painting, waving, writing, creation, and photography. So you always had this need to approach different types of art,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing the painting was the early introduction to art.
Yeah, it's been the most consistent,
Mhm.
and also because my parents are painters,
Influence,
it's
yeah.
what I know the best. I also adore painting. I think it's such a wonderful feeling. I don't think you have to be perceive yourself as talented to love painting, and I really like how I don't know, I like how immediately you can translate something from your brain into reality and onto paper or canvas. But I'm super curious about everything, so I like to try a bunch of different mediums, and I'm sure that this will change at some point too. I think we're constantly evolving, and so even though painting, I would say, is my main kind of medium now, it
At
could
least the one that
change.
you feel more comfortable about it.
Very comfortable with. Yeah, I think that's the thing now, that I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone in so many ways at the moment, that actually having a medium that's so familiar and familial is really, it's very comforting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Research has focused on culture and decoloniality,
Mm-hmm.
particularly within the South African context, dealing explicitly with the contemporary realities of settler colonialism as experienced socially, culturally, and personally.
Yes.
Yes. So, the first real question that I had to ask you is being being in work close to the concept of decolonization. How far would you think that the South African society, in this case, are from the decolonization?
I mean, pretty far, but I also
Shit.
but I also don't think that framing it as an end goal is useful,
Yeah.
because it stymies transformation to believe in a final product, and actually believing in a utopia counterintuitively becomes dogmatic and about power. And
So you think it's just a power transition and not an ideal world?
I
per
think
se.
when we're talking about like big cultural shifts, I think it's better to focus on the everyday processes that we can change. Obviously, having particular goals in mind, like in equal society that isn't reliant on racial capitalism to function. But for me, at least, having like a utopic vision doesn't really help me to do that, I guess. So I guess what I want to say is I don't view decolonization as an end product or a place that can be reached, but rather I'm looking at how we can begin to shift within our everyday relationships to move towards, a society that isn't predicated on violence and domination, preferably. Yeah. Don't know if that
Alright.
describes it well, but
Yeah. Good answer. Thank you, Sophie. But yeah, in another topic, like I'm guessing you spend all your life creating, and in a world of content creators, what would you say is your relationship with your creations?
ooh, ooh,
Ooh.
I don't know.
I'm asking this because, as myself, as a creator, I feel deeply attached to my creations, and the question would be in that sense, like, do you feel like it's easy for you to release yourself from what you've created to
Interesting.
move on, or the creations are always part of yourself, or you have a great deal on let them go?
Yeah. It varies. I think I feel okay letting things go. I'm not very precious about my own paintings. If they get damaged, I'm kind of like, okay. And I like for people to take them, and I don't know, I because it's more about the process for me, I don't feel overly attached to a final creation. I say that, but there are obviously some works that I feel deeply attached to and would feel genuinely hurt if they were destroyed, or, if somebody hated them, I think my feelings would be a little bit hurt. But also, to be fair, it's only recent that I have started sharing, like, my work with people outside of my family and my friends. So ask me in a year,
Well,
and I'll tell you. Yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about it? Like,
no, I mean, I do like public presentation of my works ever since that I started creating. It was always in a sense of sharing.
okay.
But for me to let it go would be to, as you were saying, exposing to a general public and not just a niche or a specific group of people. And until now, I still have a huge amount of insecurity per se, because it's things really personal to myself, and I mean, to put out there to someone that doesn't know me, maybe it will take the meaning of it, or diminish my work. But it all comes through a sense of insecurity, I'm guessing. But it's a process. I'm trying to deal with it.
Yeah. No, but that makes sense to me. I mean, it is very scary, especially if your work is vulnerable, which most artwork is. You know, you are allowing yourself to be put in a position where you could potentially be hurt by other people's reactions. It's a very scary place to be in, but I think it's also what makes creative people quite brave. You know, you have to be a little bit brave or a little bit naive to
Expose yourself.
exactly. But I mean, things would be pretty terrible if people didn't do that. You know, it's such a great way to connect with yourself, but also with your world and with the people around you. Yeah, but it is scary, and I think also navigating the kind of digital space is a whole other conversation. But it's difficult feeling like you maybe have to commodify your work or format it in a particular way so that people actually engage with it. I think also social media flattens things quite significantly. So when your work is quite intense or vulnerable or is exploring something that is hard to deal with, I think the structure of social media doesn't really allow for things like that to exist. So it's challenging, for sure.
But I think it's a path. It's a path. Yeah. And every artist or everybody that creates art have to go through that place eventually.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, Sophie.
Yes.
During the creation of a piece or project, what do you like the most, the process or the end product?
Process.
Yeah. Why so?
Although I have to say, sometimes the product is great and it's really satisfying. But I think for me, because I didn't really paint with people seeing it in mind, process was the only reason I was doing it, really. So it's always been my priority, and for me, like when I was a kid, or I mean up until adulthood, like I would just go through phases where I wouldn't paint or draw, but I would literally get like itchy fingers where I'd have to do it, you know. And it was just, it's about kind of, I don't know, expressing something or calming yourself down or processing, literally, I mean mentally kind of processing things through your hands. I think it's such a human thing to do. Yeah, so I think process is definitely the most satisfying part of it. And I think especially the medium that I'm using at the moment is so...
The medium, sorry?
Yeah, the medium, the ink that I'm using, or the pigment that I'm using at the moment.
I have a question.
Okay.
Hold it.
Okay. But it's so satisfying to use. It's so fun and so, I don't know, I feel like I'm playing with it. It feels like a relationship. It's like a mutual thing. I don't feel like I'm controlling it or it's controlling me. I think we're in a relationship and we're creating together, which is really interesting and very satisfying. Yeah.
Yes, the journey is not the goal. That's the step of it. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Before I ask that, I was intrigued, but what you say in the beginning, throughout your the life of a creator or an artist, you acknowledge that you had a lot of moments without inspiration, where you was inspired.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you, how did you define inspiration? Is it something that comes, or is it something that is built, or per se, is there a technique where you get like to the inspiration, or is something that
Comes to you.
yeah, a method or something that comes? That's what I was.
Yes. A bit of both. I think inspiration for me tends to come from patterns that I find. And I don't mean like drawn patterns, I mean...
A work pattern.
Yeah, I guess, like, or things...
Process.
Not necessarily, literally things occurring in my life that I don't know, I notice that recur over and over again, or a theme that, I don't know, it's hard to describe.
There are
but
recurrent events on your life.
yeah, recurring events, recurring themes that creates a pattern and then creates a source of inspiration for me. But then also, while I'm creating, usually the technique and going through it creates inspiration too. So it's difficult to say. I feel like it's both. And for you?
No, for me, it's like every time, in my case, every time that I start writing, it's something that I cannot explain, but it comes to me like a sentence or an interaction or a word even. And through that thing that comes to me, I just create a skeleton, and then I give him color, give him shape, give him meaning. I wouldn't say it's a method, but just something that comes from above, and then I take advantage of
Yeah,
it.
that sounds, yeah, I would say it's similar for me then. Yeah. Sometimes it feels very random. You kind of just have to be in front of the blank page, whether you're writing or painting or whatever, and suddenly something comes to mind that feels right, you know? It's weird. Do you believe in God?
I believe in the higher energy, definitely,
Okay.
but not in the physical old guy with a beard judging us and looking at us. Definitely no.
Okay.
But I believe that there's something bigger than us, because
I mean, there is.
all the odds say that it's impossible for us to be the maximum of evolution or whatever.
Yeah. Also, quite literally, we're not the biggest entities on Earth, you know? So, literally, there's
for you, what
there's
is the biggest entity on this
Ooh, I don't
time and space?
I don't think it's
Elon Musk?
Oh, fuck that guy, for real. But I don't know. I don't know if I would regard it as an entity, but thinking about, you know, ecosystems, we're part of a very vast network that exists within the planet.
Yeah, but would you say that human beings are totally apart from that ecosystem?
No.
You think we're deeply
of course.
connected to it.
Yeah, I mean, scientifically,
But
biologically, cognitively.
Yeah, but how can that we as human are fucking everything up then, if you are connected to it?
Well, nature can be violent, and it can be suicidal. Yeah.
That's a good perspective, yeah.
Oh. I think also, you know, we're not gods. We're pretty stupid a lot of the time, and we're working with a very limited understanding of our environment.
I would say deep disconnection.
I think so, but I believe that I know that the deep disconnection that we feel so acutely now has been developed over time by
industrialism,
a corrosive culture,
yeah.
you know, which is that of coloniality, and that was very deliberate. The separation between human and nature was a justification to dominate non-human life, and then that turned inward, and humans began to categorize themselves and create racial hierarchies and gender hierarchies. You know, it's a cultural model. It's not real. I think our connection is very much there because it is how we exist. It's not something we can ever truly separate ourselves from. It's the same as control. It's illusory. Segregation, separation, they are constructed illusory mechanisms for domination. They're not real in that way. The effects are real though. Yeah.
Sophie, I mean, from the last showcase that I'm guessing this rhythm, this poem, this
whatever you want to call it. I don't really know.
No, but I really like it, and if you may, I'm gonna read it.
Sure.
The world is ending, the birds are singing, and the world has ended. The self eternally divided, comfort or status. There is a sea of chaos, and there is what you own, your world. I believe in my soul, it's all us, the outstretched hand, the anger, and the dew of the sea. What? Dude! Quite deep.
Crazy.
Could you tell me about this poem?
Sure.
Or what does it represent to you?
I did it the day before the showcase.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah. I have a notebook that I take with me everywhere. And I collect things like, same as I was saying with patterns, phrases that I see that, I don't know, click in my brain, I'll write down. And so I went through my notebook, and some of the stuff is stuff that I've written too. So it's a mix of pulled phrases. So like, I believe in my soul is a classic, like, what's the genre? It's like a soul song from the 70s. It's the name of a song. And then, I mean, the first 3 lines, that's my writing. And then one of the lines is from somewhere else. The dew of the sea is a Latin
the dew
translation.
is like the small particles.
Yeah, it's the little droplets of water.
The humidity.
Yeah, exactly. Little
Dew
droplets
of
of
the
water that you see on grass in the morning.
Mm.
And it's a Latin translation of the word rosemary or rosmarinus. Rosemary was my grandmother's name, and that's why I wrote down the translation, and I thought it was beautiful. Yeah, so it's a mix of stuff, and then when I put it together, it felt like it communicated what I wanted it to. And I felt like it gave some context for the paintings. Yeah, that's basically it. It was
very deep, dude.
Very in the moment.
Yeah, but really well achieved, and congratulations. As much of your art is really mesmeric. And why don't you share much? Like, I was trying to creep you, but I didn't find just some cute Instagram pictures.
I'm sorry.
Not that much of art, but yeah, I hope that you, in the future, you share it more to the world. What's going on in your brain?
Okay, thank you. I'll
but
try.
yeah, talking about your creation, I noticed that you use a lot of the blue.
Yeah.
It's very present in your art.
Yes.
And I would like to ask you, how much of blue is it on you?
What?
Yeah. What the color represents?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I just like it.
You act instinctively.
I just like it. It's so. Well, actually, I can answer this very
Of course you
obviously. No, I literally, my mom went through a phase where she was painting in a blue, and she would make this pigment, and it's powdered pigment, super intense, and you put it on glass, and then you add gum arabic and a little bit of water, and then you grind it.
Gum Arab?
Gum arabic. It's a binding agent. And yeah, she made a whole bunch of it, and she gave me a little pot of it to take with me to university for when I wanted to paint. And that's why I used blue. And then I started making my own. Literally, that's the reason.
Okay. No, yeah. But I mean, obviously, it was something that came from your mother, I'm guessing. But for you to use it so much, it has to be more than just occasional or something. I mean, maybe I'm going too deep on it, but I'm guessing there's
a deeper meaning. There must be. I just don't know it. I don't know. Maybe it feels elemental or fundamental. Like, I mean, it's, I don't know. Blue is everywhere all the time. It's the sky and the sea, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's why.
You wanted to keep it present on your.
I guess. But I'm kind of this really is a guess now. I would probably need like a psychologist to analyze it for me, to be honest. What do you think?
No, I like the color blue, but it represents to me like it is something that is everywhere, but it's a color that is deeply connected to solitude. I would say, like
Solitude.
Mm.
Why do you think that?
I mean, the color screams me that. You know, I don't know.
Like a
that's my
sad
take.
color?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, there is. I mean, especially with this work, there's a lot of like, you know, subtextual grief there. So maybe that is part of it. It's supposed to be a little bit not serious, but I guess it's supposed to honor something that is quite painful. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's supposed to be a little bit somber. But it's also just such a rich color. It's so beautiful. And it changes so much. I don't know.
No, and I think you use it very beautifully.
Thank you.
And congrats for it.
Thank you.
And Sophie, Sophie,
Yes.
what would you say is the best advice you got in your life?
Oof. Ooh. I don't know if it's the best advice I ever got, but it was definitely impactful.
The most impactful one.
I went through a period where I was very, very burnt out, and I would keep getting burnt out, and I got really sick. And I went to a doctor, and she said, "You can't save anyone." And I was like, "Why?"
But I'm a superhero.
That makes me so sad. Yeah, but it was very useful advice, and it's very true. And
How did you felt about it?
uncomfortable. It made me very uncomfortable. It challenged my sense of whatever my role is. I didn't necessarily view myself as a savior, but I think the perception I had of transforming things maybe came from some sense that I could help people to that degree, and I don't think I can. But it doesn't mean that I can't keep trying to shift things, and it doesn't mean that I can't adjust and make my relationships to others more healthy, and it doesn't mean I can't build healthy communities. It just means that I can't save anyone. Yeah.
Everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
Any, maybe not every, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good advice.
Yeah.
At least brings a sort of comfort to yourself and not feeling a failure or.
Yeah. It was hard advice to hear, but it also ironically saved me a little bit, because I would have just kept going until I was completely gone, basically, which not have been very helpful to anyone. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Sophie, talking about more of your social projects, could you tell us about a social project that you had that brought to you great satisfaction? Or
That's a good question. Trying to think. I think probably actually when I was in high school, when I started being a little bit more involved with things. It was a very simple project. It was just facilitated roundtable discussions. So we would group of teenagers, we would sit in a room in a circle, and we would talk about race and gender and sexuality, and I would facilitate those sometimes. And I think that was very satisfying, because within that kind of 2-year period, I noticed people really changing. And I mean, people who, God, I went to this very colonial private school with some of the richest people like on the continent, and a lot of very rich, very out of touch white South Africans, which is saying a lot. I mean, like severely out of touch. And I don't know, watching them kind of wake up to reality, see outside of their bubble, begin to change, was very hopeful and very frustrating, and I was angry all the time. But it was also, yeah, I don't know, it made me really trust in people's capacity to change, and that most people fundamentally are pretty good and are just trying to understand things. I mean, some people are terrible too, but yeah, I think that kind of origin gave me a lot of trust in these processes, and that creating spaces for people where they can feel very uncomfortable is very fucking valuable. Very. So yeah, maybe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sophie. Talking about interactions and the meaningfulness of things we do. What are your hopes on the future of society in general?
Oh my God. It's a big one. Well, I think that we're undergoing a very large scale revolution type thing. Upheaval maybe is a better word. I think old systems that really aren't that old, maybe 200, 300 years old, are really being questioned now because they're destroying the planet and our ability to live. And I think that because things are crumbling, I don't know, these systems are clinging on for dear life, and so things are very intense at the moment. I think that's also why there's a rise in fascism and right-wing ideology all over. But I do think that it has to change and it has to end, otherwise we will end. Like there's two things that could happen: is we kill everything, or we carry on in a different way. So I think coming back to, I mean, very basically, but like indigenous knowledge sources, biomimicry, understanding ourselves as interdependent and interrelated, understanding ourselves as one part of a very big, complex whole, understanding that we are constantly impacting the world around us. I think I kind of hope that those shifts will allow us to be in a kind of global society that is not so, that isn't, predicated on these really big, violent systems that are often very invisibilized, especially in Europe and in the global north. I think we can do it. I mean, there are many human communities and societies who are living incredibly healthily and very symbiotically with their environment. It's possible. It's there. The information is there. We don't need to develop anything new.
I know, but those society, I think, they are deeply disconnected from the capitalism, the system that all the Western and North Hemisphere society are so deeply connected to.
Exactly.
But like you were saying, I think, I mean, from the way that history goes, like there's a huge explosion and then an implosion. So the system needs to fall in order to get a brighter future.
Oh yeah.
But it's gonna be very hurtful because, I mean, for as much as I say I want a change, I cannot deny the deep connection that I'm with the current way that things are.
Of course, it's the context we've grown up in. And it's very scary. It is, to be alive in a time that is defined by extreme, volatile change that is out of our control a lot of the time. It's, there's going to be it's going to be difficult, you know, but it's also going to be, I mean, it is very necessary. And it's, I think, something that I really try to embrace in myself and in my practice and in workshops that I do, and something I encourage in other people is like getting accustomed to discomfort and viewing it as something that stretches our capacity to deal with things, rather than seeing it as something that needs to be run away from. So I think, yes, large-scale change and revolution, collapse even, is terrifying, but allowing ourselves to be in that discomfort is going to it is the necessary precursor to any transformation, you know? Whoop.
Don't fall,
I'll try
Sophie.
not to.
Well, yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much for your answer. Thank you so much for your answers. Mr. Producer, times go and I need to dance.
You need to dance.
Yes.
It's time.
It's time to dance, baby.
Mm-hmm,
But I really appreciate the time that you made for us, the answers that you gave for us. And I wish you strength. I wish you creativity.
Thank
I
you.
wish you that although you cannot save everybody, you can transform some bodies. Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And this was another interview in Satellite Radio.
Yeah.
And thank you, whatever listened to our conversation, and hope I see you next time. Ciao.
Ciao.